the COVID pandemic, where there was an indication that the infection associated with that pandemic did increase the risk of violent behavior and global instability, might that be associated also with other infections? So to look at that, we have to look at a number of different questions. So one way to look at it is one part of that association is the stability of different ecosystems. And if you look at different ecosystems, when there's rapid changes in an ecosystem, then you see an increased advantage to parasites. So we're seeing a lot of ecosystem changes. It could be from climate variability or changes. It can be from mass migration of people. It can be disrupting ecosystems by non-native species. It can be from increases of population. There's a lot of different reasons that ecosystems are disrupted. Then you see a greater number of parasites, and you particularly can see an increased number of zoonotic parasites, or the vectors as well as the infections associated with it. And you can see changes of people in greater proximity to the animals that carry those diseases. So then if there's increased infection, can infection then contribute to violence? And there's a number of studies looking at with animals and also humans. With humans, there's about 20 different infections that we associate with having a role in contributing to violence. Then we can look also at a historical perspective, as when there was more infectious disease, did that correlate? And are parts of the world that are more prone to infectious disease correlated more with a higher degree of violence? And when people are in war zones that may be associated with more infectious disease and they come home, do they bring that back with them? Is there a contagious part to it? Then we have to look at what's the physiology of it. What's the brain physiology? What's the brain chemistry? Is there a logic there? And then there's what we call the critical mass effect, where if one person is injured by a dysfunction of some sort, generally society can absorb that and balance it out. But when too many people are impacted, it can have a critical mass effect. So if a particularly influential person or a group of people have certain impairments, be it violence or otherwise, can that tip the whole society and throw things off balance? So these are the different things that we'd look at to try to look at that association. Now, if we can understand this and look at violence from this perspective, on the one hand, it may be a threat to our self-image that something as small as the microbe can impact our behavior. And that goes to the concept of manipulation hypothesis. The manipulation hypothesis is that microbes can manipulate their host in a way that facilitates their survival and transmission. A simple example is coughing, but it also, there's examples of how it alters behavior. Now, that then is something that we have to consider, that maybe we're not as in control and our free will can be impacted by the microbe. It's hard to think that our free will maybe isn't so much in our control, but that's a possibility. So if we look at every single facet of the contributor to violence, we can help to prevent things. We're living in a particularly violent world right now. If we can look at any piece that can better understand and prevent violence, we're better off.